Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gameday Nitelite podcast. I am your host, Daryl, and this is your also host, Spencer. Spencer, my friend, how are you this fine evening?
I'm good, man. How are you? I love this ASMR aesthetic we got going on
I
right
know
now.
that's nice. That's got that bassiness. What's going on, my guy? We got a big week coming up.
It's good. We got a big week. It's SEC time, baby.
Yes, sir, baby. We actually get to see
Let's
some
get it.
defense.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Mississippi State's running the air raid now, so
yeah. They certainly
imagine
are.
that. Imagine the air raid offense on a team that actually has a good defense.
I know.
Imagine Alabama running the air raid. They never would, but imagine that.
Well, honestly, I mean, the closest thing we got to that was LSU last year. I mean, just think about how much they put it in the air, you know? I mean, granted, it wasn't, it wasn't the air raid offense that we're referring to at Mississippi State, but it is what it is. In the chat tonight, we got Will.
State. Yes,
What's
Will.
going on, Will?
Will's here.
Yeah.
What's up, Will? I see you.
Yes, sir. We got me and we got you. We're here, too. That's good.
Yeah, it's always us.
Absolutely.
Well, I thought you said you were gonna play cards tonight, bro.
He said it was the after party or something like that, so I guess he's done. I guess it's
The
done.
after party.
I guess so. Well, my guy, tell me, what are you most looking forward to about this weekend? Obviously, SEC play, but what is the biggest game on your radar?
The biggest game on my radar,
Yes.
my personal radar, or the radar of
Your
the
radar.
country?
Your radar, my man.
My personal, and for reasons that will become apparent at the end of this show, the game on my radar is this Ole Miss versus Florida game.
Do tell.
But I like what we saw from Ole Miss last year. I like John Rice Plumlee, their quarterback. He's fast. He's quick. He ran all over LSU last year. He ran all over Alabama last year, even though they lost both. Ole Miss lost both of those games. And Florida's good. Kyle Trask is good, but I think this game is going to be a bigger test for Florida than people are giving them credit for. It's in Oxford, so
Yeah, and the expectation for Florida is very big this year, right?
yeah.
They're coming out the gate. This is supposed to be a very big chance at a playoff season. Obviously, before quarantine and the whole pandemic, that was a big factor. Is that that's where the expectations were. Now that we have this SEC only schedule, actually in a very similar case with A&M, where they had a very favorable schedule. They had a lot of returning starters. They had a lot of young talent, a great recruiting class. This was supposed to be the year for a lot of teams, and it's going to be interesting to see how the lack of spring training and how a lot of these big players opting out are going to affect things.
You're going to see games this weekend that may not go the way you think they're going to go.
Exactly, yeah. And that's why I'm looking forward to getting into the games we're going to talk about,
And
because
there's a big this is going to be a big welcome to the SEC weekend,
yes,
because just this weekend alone we have 4 brand new head coaches for SEC teams playing in big games. We have Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss coaching against number 5 Florida.
no big deal.
In his first game as head coach. We have Mike Leach coaching the Mississippi State Bulldogs against the number 6 defending champion LSU Tigers.
That's what I'm most looking forward to.
In his first game as a head coach of the SEC. And then we have Sam Pittman, the coach at Arkansas,
God, I feel bad for him.
coaching against number 4 Georgia. And then we have Elia Drinkwitz, the new coach at Mizzou, coaching against number 2 Alabama. So this is a big welcome to the SEC weekend for these new head coaches. We're big. I like Lane Kiffin. I like Mike Leach. I don't know anything about Elia Drinkwitz or Sam Pittman, except that Sam Pittman looks like what's that actor's name? I say this every day. I can't think of his name.
Well, now I got to find out. You got to think of his name.
He looks like freaking.
Sam Pittman.
I think that's the coach's name, right?
Yeah, that is his name. But I want to know who you think he looks like, because I have to find out.
He looks like.
I gotta get a good comparison here for the folks at home.
Why can't I think of his name?
Would it help if you saw a picture of him? Here, let me put him up on screen.
I know what roles this guy's. He played. He was in A Few Good Men, and he played the Joker.
He played the Joker?
Not Cesar Romero.
Joker roles
from the '89 Batman.
Actor 1989. So this is gonna bother me until we find out.
Who
Jack
was it?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. Yes. Oh my God.
You really could.
I
It
don't know
took
why
that
I
long to
couldn't
think of
of
Jack
that.
Nicholson.
Yeah, Sam Pitt. In that picture I just saw, I know we're past that, but he in that he looks like Jack Nicholson. Sam Pittman looks like Jack Nicholson. I
Well,
told
I
him
don't
so
know.
on
Let's
Twitter
see.
because he has a really good Twitter account.
Can we get a hold on? I'm gonna see if we get kind of a split screen here. All right, so I'm pulling up Jack Nicholson. I got Sam Pittman. I can see it. They got some similar. I tell you what, if there was ever if this year Arkansas goes all the way and they lead, if Sam Pittman leads Arkansas all the way to whatever version of a playoff we have this year, in spite of pandemics, in spite of being a first year coach, I think if that was made a movie, they would definitely cast Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
They look similar to me. The picture you have on screen to me doesn't do justice to the picture that I saw that made me think he looked like Jack Nicholson. But also you have to know that I am like terrible at resemblance, because I'll be like, so and so looks like so and so, and they'll be like, no, they don't, like at all. And but
Did you know Jack Nicholson is 83?
Good Lord.
I can't even fathom 83.
Neither can I.
Oh no. Okay, well, that's a very depressing.
That's one more than 82, Daryl.
That is exactly. Well, that's a valid point. For the second to stay, we got the third scarf for the Ascot Red doing pretty good. Okay, Will hopped out and then he hopped back in. Will,
yeah, his phone's been tripping on him.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for being here, Will. Though.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that, Will. Will, thank you. The scarf is part of my new wardrobe. I'm trying to make my own drip. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to
He's
create
looking
things.
a little.
I'm trying to do things different. I'm trying to be original. You know,
a little fashion forward, a white tee and a scarf.
I'm trying to be a square in a round world. All
with
right?
some
That's what I'm
basketball
trying to do.
shorts and some cowboy boots. That's a look right there.
Hold on a minute. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that right now. Well, my guy, what do you want to talk about right now? We could get immediately into the games. We could talk about your play. We could talk about my play. We could talk about the Pac-12 and the Big Ten deciding, oh, I guess now that it's convenient for me, I'm gonna play.
Yeah. The Big Ten announced last week, so we knew about them last week. But the Pac-12, the Mountain West, and the MAC have all came back. They're going to start seasons. I believe the Mountain West is going to start in October, and then the MAC and the Pac-12 are going to start in December. The MAC, not December, November. The MAC is going to play a 6-game conference-only schedule, and the Mountain West is going to play a 7-game conference-only schedule. So we get some action this year.
Pac-12 championship game will be played December 18th, making the teams that include USC and UCLA eligible for the college football playoff postseason.
They're going to be eligible for the playoff.
Yes, that is officially confirmed. They're
playing less games than the Big Ten, and they're eligible for the playoff.
Daddy's not happy about that.
Don't like that. The Big Ten shouldn't be eligible for the playoff either.
No.
They should not.
I mean,
but they're going to do whatever they can to stop a non-Power 5 team from getting to the playoff. You know they are. They don't want that. They don't want Cincinnati or UCF or Memphis or SMU. They don't want that. Or Marshall.
Let me just take this moment to say, and to make this perfectly clear, I am perfectly in favor of teams being or playing during this time, right? It's very important. Football is so important for athletic programs, especially down in the South. Obviously, the Pac-12 is a little bit different. But the point is athletic programs depend on football. Football ticket sales, advertisement sales, TV deals, those are the type of things that keep athletic departments in business. It keeps employees from being furloughed. It keeps food on people's plates. So I am all in favor of football being played.
However, if you can play safely, do it.
Right. But in fairness to the schools that are going to be, or the teams that are going to be taking on longer seasons, obviously, if you have an abbreviated season, you should not be eligible for the same playoff. And I know you like to argue about strength of schedule. Hey, this team still won their championship, but in this year, the strength of schedule objectively is no. You have a smaller resume. You literally did not face as many teams.
And you're only playing conference games, which we should go to anyway. But we should...
No. Don't you understand, Spencer? Don't do this with me tonight.
Listen.
I want to angrily flap my scarf.
Every conference should have the same amount of teams. Every Power 5 conference. If we're going to stick with this Power 5 group of 5 scenario, They should, they should all have the same number of teams. They should. We
Oh
should
my
realign.
God.
We should realign the conferences so we can do like this year. You can play some of these big out of conference matchups, these big like 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3 to start the season, and then you play your conference schedule. You want to talk about strength of schedule? Play your entire conference. Play everybody in your conference. There's enough games in the season. Play everybody in your conference once, except for maybe 1 or 2 teams, and then determine a conference champion. Your conference should have divisions. I hate the fact that conferences don't have divisions.
Spencer, stop. You're being recorded right now. Don't say these type of things. All right, listen to me.
I'm being serious.
If the MLB plays 10 games, and then the minor leagues play 10 games, and the winners of each of those leagues go on to play for the championship, who will win?
The major league team.
The major league team. If you are a conference that typically has a lesser schedule based objectively off of recruiting, off of like who you're winning against. If you are that type of team and your only sample size is teams within your conference, it's so important to have those out of conference games, because then you get an actual test to see how does this team stack up against a different conference? How does this team stack up against someone who is supposed to be good over here? Strength of schedule matters, bro. And
I agree with everything you just said, but listen to me. Okay, let's take everything you just said. If strength of schedule needs to matter,
yes.
If who you play needs to matter,
yes.
Let's put everybody on a level playing field. Let's get rid of this Power 5 versus Group of 5 shenanigans, and let's go to different regions. Let's combine some of these big conferences. Let's put everybody on a level playing field and expand the playoff.
I mean, you said
if everything you just said is true.
We need to expand the playoff.
We do need to expand the playoff. We needed to do it. I mean, we are only in year 6 of the playoff era.
If they're only, as it is right now, if there are 4 spots, as it is right now, there are 4 spots. The best 4 teams should get in, and if you take the winners of conferences that are not in the Power 5 and you put them in the playoff, you're not necessarily going to be putting the best team in. And that's just the way it is.
I mostly agree with you.
I agree with you as far as saying, do the smaller teams need a chance? Do they deserve a chance to have a spot for an upset? Absolutely. That's what March Madness is all about in basketball.
That's why March Madness is a great tournament.
That's why it's delicious and supreme and deluxe, and everyone loves it. And we absolutely need that.
You get the Texas Techs and the Loyola Chicagos and all these other type of teams that make these big, great runs to the final, and they didn't, you didn't expect them to. Like Loyola Chicago a few years ago, that was beautiful to watch. And
now basketball is a little bit different, because obviously we're talking at this point about
smaller teams, smaller number of people in the field.
Sure, and of course in football you're talking about, now we're looking at how well can the program condition these kids, how big of these kids can they get. Sometimes you're just straight up outsized and outsped, and that is just the bottom line. But basketball is a little different.
Yeah, basketball is different, because you could play more games in a shorter amount of time. But the FCS already does like a 64-team playoff.
Yep.
So it really bothers me that from your company league softball to FCS football, we can come up with a bracket on how to determine a true champion. But in major FCS Division I college football, we can't. That's a problem.
You know what? I agree to a certain extent.
There's a lot of money in TV deals that goes into some of this stuff, but it's just ridiculous. Like,
honestly, my man, I just like out of conference games.
I do too.
I think we deserve them throughout the year.
We do, but if we want those conference games to matter, start scheduling different people. Like, start scheduling Appalachian State, because they're really good. They're good every year. If you want your resume to get, schedule them. Schedule Boise State, because they're really good every year. They recruit. Schedule San Diego State. Schedule them. Schedule Marshall. Schedule some of these teams that people know about. Schedule them week 1 primetime games. Give me an Alabama versus Appalachian State. Alabama would win that game, but give Appalachian State that TV time and that money.
Ooh, I just want to see like a Texas
give me an LSU versus
Marshall.
Boise State. Well, Texas versus Marshall would be great.
I want to see that.
Look at back in 2011. 2010 and 2011. In 2010, Boise State opened opened the year against Virginia Tech in Blacksburg and won the game. And then the next year they opened against Georgia in Atlanta and they won the game. Start scheduling. Give me games like that. Give me Georgia versus Appalachian State. Give me Appalachian State, Penn State, Appalachian State, Tennessee. If we want these schedules to matter, give me these games because they're going to look really good. They're going to, and you're not going to get the Appalachian State versus Michigan upsets every time, but there's a chance of those upsets. Week 1 on a national stage.
It's exciting TV, and when it happens, it happens. But you also have to understand these are the type of games that programs don't like to book because they don't want to get exposed. You know, I mean, after App State took down Michigan that year and sort of shocked the world.
Michigan, you could make the argument that Michigan arguably has not been the same since that game happened 13 years ago. No. You could make the argument that they have not recovered from that.
No, it changed them.
And I would not argue against you.
Yes.
Because so.
Do you feel better now?
I do.
You were out here spitting some truth.
I was preaching.
Do you want me to talk about a play now? I was preaching
to the choir because we agree. Yeah.
Yeah, we agree.
We can talk about this one from this weekend when SMU.
Oh, you want to do yours first?
Texas.
Let's do yours first, man.
Yeah, because I don't know what yours is. When SMU played North Texas, and it was 4th and 2, and Shane Buechele catches the quarterback at SMU, catches the snap,
4th and 2, yeah,
and then gets the absolute tar knocked out of him by like 3 people, and then gets up and runs the other way for the first down. It looks very similar to what Josh Allen did this past weekend when he got absolutely pummeled and then just popped up and ran the other way. I had a different play, but I forgot what it was, but this one stuck in my mind. So Shane Buechele just got his clock cleaned and then just got up like, nah, bruh, I'm out.
No, let this be a lesson if you happen to be watching this and are, play football, play defense. He ran into him. I mean, he absolutely beat the tar out of him. He didn't wrap up. It was all momentum and nothing else. That's the type of thing.
That looked like Navy versus BYU tackling right there. That's what that was.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he just thought he was going to hit stick him, to be honest with you. That's exactly what happened.
And you know what happens when you get hit stick happy in NCAA? You miss.
You start missing.
A lot.
Exactly. What's going on in this play? So let me think here. So 11's coming across.
It's
running
a
back's
play.
going out to.
I don't really just man in motion. I don't know if you can analyze this play.
Oh, they just loaded the box.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet he had a guy wide open down the field. Oh yeah,
did.
He has 8 wide open, but he just can't get there because they come down on him too fast.
He can't see it because he's got 4 people in his face, but he still made the play.
Yeah.
So
they just loaded the box on him. If he had set back and just dropped back and maybe not tried to go in motion with it, if he just stayed in the pocket, he probably would have had.
Well, it was probably a designed bootleg play because you could see the way his receivers were coming out with him. It was designed to go that way, but the rush got there.
He didn't have
time. He was able to avoid it and run out. He needed more time, and his line didn't give him that.
Exactly.
But I really hope, because everybody's getting an extra year of eligibility this year, I really hope Shane Buechele sticks around. I was glad he was able to let his career recover.
Yeah, my man's going to go down in history as one of the best SMU quarterbacks for sure.
Yeah. I mean, look what they did last year with him. Look what they're doing this year. They're not as big on the radar because, they've the darling of college football spot has been taken over by ULL. They're my T-shirt team of the year so far.
That's your T-shirt team?
That's my T-shirt team. So if you look at me next week, I may be wearing a ULL Raging Cajuns T-shirt.
That is the upset Saturday darling is what that is.
Yeah. It's there's one every year. Last year it was SMU. Not that they really upset. It was SMU in Minnesota last year. And then a few years ago when Houston opened the year against Oklahoma, and they ended up winning when Greg Ward was still there. That was kind of their year.
Yes.
So there's a darling of college football every year, and then the next year it was Iowa State because they upset Oklahoma. So
yeah,
but
no doubt about that, man. Well, hey,
Shane Buechele.
Shane Buechele, oh my God, that guy, he's such a trenches quarterback. He's such a gamer.
Yeah, he's so good. He's raising his draft stock.
Big time.
Somebody is going to get him.
Well, and you think about people like Carson Wentz. You think about people like Tony Romo. These are guys that don't get drafted necessarily very high. Carson Wentz went pretty high, but it's not like he went to one of these Power 5. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Oh my God, he did, didn't he? I don't know why I thought he went round 2.
But he's from North Dakota State.
That's what I'm saying, right? The point is that you can have great quarterbacks not come out of a Power 5 school. Everyone wants to point to Power 5 schools because they are the commercial schools. They are the advertisement schools. They are the big-time family name schools. But honestly, if you're a quarterback out of high school, man, just go somewhere and put up big numbers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
which
saying?
is why we need to level the playing field. So we need to raise all these other schools up to the same level. SMU needs to be on the same level as Texas and A&M and Baylor and TCU. They need to join the Big 12 if we're really anyway.
Well,
but we're not going to get it. But
yeah, that's
but
another
again,
show.
but not even join the Big 12. I like the American Conference as it is. The American Conference needs to add more teams, right? So they need to add teams like ULL and Appalachian State and stuff like that. The American Conference is good. They have good teams. So, but if we want to go keep this power and non-power, the American could be the Power 6 conference. Or if the Big 12 dissolves in a few years, they could become the next Power 5.
I'd be 100% down with a Power 6 or a Power 7 conferences.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun. My guy, I need to tell you about this play because there was nothing special about this play, and that's what made it special. What this play was is sort of a preview of what you saw all night between Miami and Louisville. De'Aaron King made things very difficult for that Louisville defense. They got made silly. They got made to look very silly throughout a lot of the night with a lot of blown coverages. And the reason for that, I think, for one, is it's hard to tell because I don't know what exactly the play calling was. I don't know if they were just blitzing all over the place. I don't know if there was assignment confusion. It felt like assignment confusion because a lot of times you had two quarterbacks spying on De'Aaron King when you should have just had two linebackers rather spying on De'Aaron King when it should have just been one. This is one example of a play in the game that sort of was, like I said, a preview to what you saw the rest of the game. This is a 1st and 10. Again, on 1st and 10, typically you're thinking you're going to run the ball. Let me get my marker up. Do I have the marker? Yeah. So these three guys right here, these linebackers, the one over here is his responsibility, I believe, is to spy on the running back. The one in the middle is to spy on the quarterback, and then this guy, I believe, is supposed to catch anything that goes up the middle. So what happens here is you have one-on-one with these two wide receivers. They're running sort of that press coverage. You got the same thing here on the outside. You have the free safety back here covering sort of this left side, the right side of the field. Basically everything from the left hash and to the right. And so what happens on this play, let me erase all ink. Erase all ink, please. What happens on this play, as you'll see here, we go a fake handoff. He holds onto it, tight end sneaks out, and boom, touchdown. And what's remarkable about this, again, is just how unremarkable it was. Is so many things you can do with motion, number one, in the backfield, and number two, how versatile the tight end position is. So what happens here is we snap the ball. At this moment, when there's this fake handoff, all three of these guys, and again, this is why I think we had a bit of a problem on the defense for Louisville and why I think they're going to get fussed at a lot this week during practice, is that all three of these guys bite on this. They bite on this handoff, and this linebacker right here has so much hesitation that he doesn't take into account that this tight end is not going to be blocking for a run play like he's expecting. He's going to be going downfield. And so when that happens, all of a sudden this linebacker has no chance, and because the free safety back here is covering essentially everything from this left hash and to the right, all this space right here is free. So that is why whenever this tight end sneaks out, all De'Aaron King's got to do is just toss it right over the linebacker's head, and then boom. Tight ends is honestly, it's one of the most beautiful things in an offense. I'm a big fan, which is why if you watch the Cowboys game this weekend, I know you turned it off because obviously most people did. But not Blake
like
Jarwin.
We were talking about the other day. It takes energy to watch a Dallas Cowboys game, and I did not have it on Sunday.
100%.
We ended up having like a crazy comeback, like you predicted in the comments. But we were also playing the Falcons.
Well, the Falcons offense.
But like the Falcons are like cursed to give up big leads.
Yes.
Like
I know
we've
what
established
you're
this.
100%.
Like we didn't get up 28-3 because if I would have seen 28-3, I'd have turned the game back on. But it was 20-0.
Specifically.
So,
nah, man, I knew
if it was 28-3, I turned the game back on.
I knew they were jinx, dude. I knew they were jinx.
Yeah.
But just to wrap up,
jinx teams.
Just to wrap up on this play, and again, this is 1st and 10. You consider the context. early in the game, it's 1st and 10. Most teams are going to run the ball, which is why, again, Louisville sort of loaded the box here. And I think they were basically just waiting to either read off. They were expecting a read option, right? So this guy, this left linebacker here is thinking, okay, there's going to be a read option. I got to watch out if De'Aaron King comes this way. If he hands the ball off, I need to get to that side of the field. These two are fully expecting to go around to contain anything that they possibly can, right? And then again, the tight end sells it really nicely. So it's a pull. So this left tackle, let me go back to my ink. This left tackle is going to, come on, where's my ink at? The left tackle is going to come around and pull. He's going to block this guy. And then you would expect on a play like this for the running back or for somebody, the quarterback, to come through this direction. The tight end is going to come here and then sort of start to block and then just immediately go. And again, you've got all this space because this free safety is hanging out on this side of the field. And honestly, whenever you get a setup like that, you can sneak out a tight end. The tight end a lot of times doesn't get picked up because, again, he's been blocking the last couple of plays. Boom, he's all by himself, and that's an easy touchdown every time. And that was the Achilles heel all night for Louisville, is they just could not stop having giant holes in their defense.
The ability to capitalize on human error is one of the greatest games of chess you can play in the game of football.
Absolutely.
The ability to capitalize on human instinct. And football is a game of inches, right? You fake that handoff and that safety or that corner takes one step in the wrong direction. It's curtains for that play.
Yes.
That's a touchdown.
If
your receiver is fast enough, if your receiver is running full sprint and you fake that handoff and he takes one step this way, your receiver probably got 10 steps on him if your receiver's good enough. And you could just toss it over the top. Or your tight end, they take that one step and he can get out. It's easy. Also, quarterbacks being able to sell a fake, that's one of the most underrated. I saw one earlier. There's a guy, he was a backup quarterback in the NFL for a long time named Charlie Batch.
Yes.
He played for the Lions when he was first drafted back in the 90s. He ran this fake handoff. It was beautiful. He faked the handoff and then he put the ball behind his thigh.
What was his name?
And just Charlie Batch.
Charlie Batch.
I don't know if you'll be able to find the specific play I'm talking about, but it was one of the games he started for the Lions back in like 98 or something like that, and he faked it behind him, held it by his hip, and then turned around and just chunked it to his tight end, and it was gorgeous. But I think more quarterbacks need to practice the art of the fake. Like, you know who was really good at that? Kellen Moore at Boise State, because he would take a snap. Kellen Moore is one of the best quarterbacks in college football history. He's super accurate, and he's like, if you look at him not on a football field, he's one of the biggest non-athlete goobers you've ever seen in your life. But
I'm pretty sure he has like a really funny insurance commercial where you're just like, oh, that's Kellen Moore.
Yeah. And like, he was deadly accurate. He wasn't that fast. He wasn't that big, but he was deadly accurate. He's got the best winning percentage. He went 50-3 in his career, which would take a lot, which tells you how good Boise State was in his prime when he was there. But he would do these fakes where he would fake it and then he would turn around and he would like hold the ball straight out like this and then wiggle it like he had fumbled it to get the defense to keep biting up, and then he would turn around and he was a lefty. That. He was a lefty too. So right. The guy before him, Zabransky, did that too. He was also good. I think they did that against Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yes, they did.
So he would turn it and shook it. You know, Kellen Moore and Zabransky were good at that, but that was in the Chris Peterson era of Boise State, because they had a big playbook and they ran all these.
Just getting as creative as possible, 100%.
Yeah, just getting creative. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you know the telltale sign of a really good fake handoff is when the cameraman gets tricked.
Yes.
Because cameraman watches every play. His job is to watch the ball. He doesn't get picked. He doesn't get thrown off that easily. Yeah. And it honestly sells it for you too when you're watching it. You're like, wait, who has the ball? It's amazing.
Yeah. One of the big. You could probably find this one easier than the other one I was talking about. It was Dennis Dixon. He was a quarterback for Oregon in 2007, and they played Michigan. I think it was Michigan. Earlier in the game they ran a Statue of Liberty, and then this play Dennis Dixon. He ran a fake Statue of Liberty. So look up Dennis Dixon fake Statue of Liberty. So we're all familiar with if you're a football fan, you're familiar with the Statue of Liberty.
I've seen this.
For the non-fans in the house, if you're watching, A Statue of Liberty is where quarterback takes the snap, fakes like he's going to throw, or like does a motion like he's thrown the ball, and then puts the ball in his other hand and hands it to a running back, and they run around for a touchdown to gain some yardage. It was made famous by Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma. That's how they ended up winning that game. It's one of the biggest David versus Goliath upsets ever. On this play that Daryl's about to show you, Dennis Dixon runs a fake Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
so he fakes the throw, puts the ball behind his back, and fakes the handoff, and then he keeps it and goes up. It's almost kind of like a triple option, but it looks really beautiful. Dennis Dixon was great at fake handoffs, and this is a master class in hiding the ball and executing a play. If you've never seen it's great. He would have won the Heisman that year if he wouldn't have got hurt.
I think what I love about this play the most, and honestly, what obviously
he faked the camera guy out.
But what my favorite part of this play is so the ball is snapped, and I'm showing this, Spencer, so you'll have to see the replay in a second. But for you at home, you're seeing it at the same time I am. Yes, he fakes that handoff, and then as that running back is coming around the left side, there are two defenders that are just right there. They could just easily make the tackle, but they're so like one goes towards the quarterback and one goes towards the running back, and they like bump into each other. And because of that, he had like just a split second to just get out into some open field, and of course he just immediately goes right.
And what he does on this play that's unique to a Statue of Liberty is he kept the ball in his throwing hand, faked like he'd thrown it, and then sweeped it behind him, then faked a handoff, and then took off. Normally on a regular Statue of Liberty, he'll put the ball in his non-throwing hand. Dennis Dixon was right-handed, which most quarterbacks are. So he kept the ball in his right hand and faked it. But normally, if you're a right-handed quarterback, you're going to put the ball in your left hand, fake the throw motion with your throwing hand, and then hand it off behind you to a running back behind you.
So everything about this play just looks so completely unnatural to the defense. It's hard to defend that when you're like, where am I supposed to go, right?
And also, this happened in the year 2007, which is in the mythos of college football is like the best season ever.
There'll never be another season quite like that.
No, there won't be. Like, but a lot of like cultural things happened in 2007. The iPhone came out, YouTube came out.
Wait a minute. What?
The first iPhone came out in 2007. YouTube started in 2007. There was a lot of good music in 2007. Like 2007 is just like a if you want to look at the best year from 2000 to 2010, you definitely got to put a timestamp on 2007. Just like sports, in sports, specifically college football, it was great, and just culturally, it was great. So
2007. Let's find out what happened in 2007 while I'm just kind of looking over here. Vince,
a lot of stuff happened in 2007.
I'm like only seeing politics. Senator Barack Obama of Illinois declares his candidacy for president. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that makes me feel old. I don't want to see politics though. I want to see like cool things. Who died in 2007?
I don't remember anybody who died, but I also believe that was the year that the Patriots were undefeated.
Bam Bigelow died that year.
Bam Bigelow. Shout out to my WWE fans. Old school ECW. Yeah,
old
2007 culture.
How old school?
We're talking before WWE bought them.
That's pretty old school. Anyways.
Very old school. Go back and watch some of those pay-per-views. They're really good. But yeah. You want to talk about some games, Darryl?
Oh, not really, because I just realized how comfortable I am in my freaking scarf. Have you seen this scarf?
Darryl, you live in Texas. Why are you wearing a scarf?
Because, my guy, it's a little chilly in my house, and my neck needs to be. The trunk of my neck gets a little bit frosty, and I got to keep it warm, my guy.
It was very cold in my house earlier, and I had to go put on sweatpants and socks.
You can make it winter here by just cranking the AC down a little bit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. Let's talk about college football. That's what we're here to do. I mean, that's what we've been doing. Let's talk about like what's going to happen.
Let's continue to talk college.
There's a game going on right now. It's the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders versus the University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners.
Ooh, I wonder who's winning that game.
I don't know, but I hope the boys from Murfreesboro.
Can we not do this again? Can we not do this again?
I hope they win. Not to cheer against the Texas team, but you got to cheer for Middle Tennessee State.
Here we go. UTSA is down 20-23. It's third quarter, 6 minutes left.
Yep. So after we get done, go tune into the fourth quarter of that game.
No, we're just going to go put it on now. No, that's the highlights. Just kidding. I was going to put it on, but...
This is now a watch party for Middle Tennessee State
For real.
UTSA. Stick around. We're going to be on longer than an hour tonight.
We just derail the entire stream just to watch the random game.
For sure. But yeah, go Blue Raiders. That might be another T-shirt I buy. I just want to buy a bunch of T-shirts to wear on the
Dude,
screen.
if I just had money just for no reason that I just had to spend on random bullshit that I really don't need, 100% would just be all T-shirt. There's so many T-shirts that I just kind of want to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want a ULL T-shirt. I want an Appalachian State T-shirt.
Speaking of ULL, how do you feel about their matchup this week?
They play Georgia Southern. They're going to be at home.
Oh, do they? I just said that. I wasn't even sure if they were playing.
Yeah, they're still number 19. They play Georgia Southern. It's on the list. They play Georgia Southern at home. There's so many games that I want to watch happening at 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Dude, I know. What the hell am I supposed to do?
But these first few weeks have been beautiful because these first few games have been beautiful. First few weeks have been beautiful because there's only like 2 or 3 games going on at the same time. And so what I've been doing is I've been picking the game that I want to watch and putting it on my TV. And then I'll put the secondary game that's going on at the same time on my computer. And I'll mute my computer just so I can look back and forth. And Brianna walked in on me the other day. She was like, both screens, really? And I was like, yeah, I wish I had 5 more.
So look like you
I would put on every game.
You look like me during the Masters when I'm like, okay, where's Tiger? There's Tiger. Okay, hang on. Where's Jordan Spieth?
I wish I had that big setup with like 4 different TVs and like 4 different Fire Sticks because that's what I use to watch football.
I know.
So
man. I would 100%
like those big
be behind
TVs
that.
you have at like sports bars or like Buffalo Wild Wings. Give me those. I mean, those are regular TVs, but
you should just go. You should just grab like a binder, right, and just go like sit at Buffalo Wild Wings and spread all your shit out and be like, all right, I'm taking notes. Don't mind me, guys. I'll keep ordering food.
But I don't know if they're gonna play all the games. And plus, I like being able to watch games in the comfort of my own home now. And now I don't have to like. I don't like. There's certain games where I want to. There's certain games where I would like to be in a group of people, like in a crowd watching them. Like I would like to be in a crowd to watch the national championship or the Super Bowl.
It changes
or
things.
like I did in 2013 when A&M played Alabama.
Mate.
I was at a Buffalo Wild Wings during that whole game. And the entire time I was living in Lake Charles when we lived out there for like that game happened. We didn't move for like the next like year and a half almost. I would have people come up to me just randomly. I'd be in the store. I'd be at work because I worked at Lids at the time. They'd be like, I saw you at Buffalo Wild Wings. You
just
get
watching
hyped
games
about the A&M game. And I was, because I was like jumping up and down and yelling. I was hyped.
Yeah.
And it was probably a little embarrassing.
It's the right way to do it, my dude.
I was by myself. I wasn't with a group of people. And it was so funny. I remember, I think we've talked about this in the show before, but
that is a really funny picture. Yeah. Everybody else is just like, huh, you guys really into this.
Yeah. And then obviously I was upset that A&M lost, so I was kind of like in my feelings when I left. But it was really funny because LSU was playing at the same time, but they were playing against like UAB or like a lower team, and it was like obviously going to be a blowout. And like obviously I'm an LSU fan, but I support A&M because of you. And so there was a guy in an LSU shirt sitting like 2 tables from me, and he was getting annoyed at me because I was cheering, and he was like, "Can you?" And he never said anything to me, but he very clearly aggressively said to the waitress, "Can you put it on the LSU game, please?" And it was like, that sounds like he said, "Can you put it on the LSU game?" But that kind of sounds like, "Can you shut the hell up?" But he didn't.
Like, oh man, that's like the most white people way to handle that, you know?
Passive aggressive.
Also,
don't say nothing.
Also, Will says in the chat, he says, first of all, Buffalo Wild Wings, he says, because obviously it's delicious. He says also there are party games and there are kind of solo games. There's definitely a difference. They hit different. Games also just hit different whenever you're. And actually, one of my favorite things about whenever I'm watching a game with people versus when I'm alone is when I'm with people, there's more eyes on the TV, right? So like I get upset about a play and somebody else is like, "Hey, wait a minute. That was pass interference." And I'm like, that was pass interference. Wait a minute. And then it just kind of rolls out of control, right?
Yeah. Like example, when you were in college, when we sat in that little like common area of your dorm and watched that Ole Miss game. That was fun. And we all sang the war hymn afterward. That was good.
Time.
That video's still on YouTube. That video still exists.
Was it really?
Yeah, one of your suite mates. What was the guy's name?
Matthew.
Matthew.
Yeah,
he
cool.
uploaded
I
it.
miss him.
Yeah, he uploaded it.
Dude,
You remember that night your roommate died when I almost died when I went up there? He didn't actually die. He's still alive. He's still living.
for the love of God, don't get our shit shut down talking about a dude's death.
No. He almost died.
Yes.
This dude went out partying, got hammered drunk, and then came back. And because I was staying in Daryl's dorm, and I was laying on the floor because there was only 2 beds, and so I laid on the floor. I listened to his roommate fall asleep in the shower for like an hour, knocked out of sleep, and then he gets up, finishes his shower, and then stumbles into the room. And I'm like, "Dude, are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm about to go hang out with this girl." And I was like, "Bruh,
your night's
out,
done, dog. Your night is done." He took the longest showers, especially.
That dude was an animal.
But
he was asleep. He fell asleep.
Oh,
That's
I
what
know.
I'm saying.
I know. He used to like go in the shower and like he would turn the shower on, and then sit on the floor almost as if to take a break. He'd be like, "All right, okay, I think I'm good, but just to take a breather real quick before I stand."
But I do that
shower.
too.
What?
Depending on the kind of shower you're in, you've never sat down in the shower. You're just sitting there and you just want to be in the shower, so you just sit down.
Pause everything.
It depends on the shower the size of the shower you're in. I can't do it in my personal home shower.
We're done talking about college football. We have to discuss why Spencer sits in the shower now.
I mean, sometimes you got to do it, man. Or do you ever do that thing where you
you just get winded? Like, oh man, I've been standing too long. I gotta sit down.
No, it's just you feel like sitting down in the shower. You feel like taking a longer of a shower, and you don't want to stand up the whole time. I'm fat and I got weak knees. I got to sit down sometimes. I don't do it anymore, but sometimes you got to do it. I did it at my mom's a lot. When I was at my mom's, I just sit down in the shower.
All right, Spencer, let's talk about football again. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm really uncomfortable.
But they make showers that have like benches in
Spencer,
them.
I'm trying to give you an out. Let's move on.
I know, and I didn't take it.
The Raging Cajuns. We got Georgia Southern. They're at home.
Oh, yeah, they're going to win that game, by the way.
They're going to win that game.
They're going to be at home. Although I do like Georgia Southern. They're like the navy blue Alabama. I like their offense. They were in a triple option offense.
Don't say that. Don't say they're the navy blue Alabama.
Look at their uniforms. They're the navy blue Adidas Alabama. Alabama has a conference logo, a logo, and a logo, and number on the front and back, and then numbers on the helmets. 2 jerseys and 1 pair of pants.
I'm too tired to.
Georgia Southern has.
I'm too tired to disagree with you. Raging Cajuns all the way. I think.
No doubt about it.
I think it's honestly though, man. I think they're going to lose a game at some point that they shouldn't lose because their offense does not. They don't move the ball like they should. Their defense wins every game they have. Their special teams comes up clutch when it needs to. This Louisiana Raging Cajun team is scrappy, but they are not. Actually, let me get this screen.
This
scrappy.
Overtime win they had against Georgia State this past week was really good.
Yeah,
Georgia State was better than I thought they were. Their quarterback was decent.
I thought Georgia State was going to do it, but yeah, they're going to bend at some point. They're bending at some point. They are going to break. They're a scrappy team. I think they win this game, but they're going to eventually hit a wall. So give me Georgia. Give me the Raging Cajuns this week. What else? What's the next game we're going to look at? Let's talk about Oklahoma and K-State. Oh shit. We're going to have a repeat of last year. Oklahoma going to get embarrassed again?
Yes,
K-State going to redeem themselves after losing to Arkansas State? What is so many things? There's a redemption story for Kansas State. There's a redemption story for Oklahoma. You ever seen 2 redemption stories come at the same time? What kind of plot is that? Absolutely not. Who you got in this game?
Spoiler alert, Kansas State's going to win this game.
Are you really taking K-State?
By a field goal. I'm taking K-State.
You're taking K-State by a field goal?
Oklahoma's not ready. Taking K-State by a field goal. You know why I'm taking K-State?
Why is that, my guy?
Because in Oklahoma's first game, they blew out their opponent. K-State lost to what we would consider a lesser opponent. K-State's going to be hungry. The Wildcats are going to make a K-statement this weekend.
Can you repeat that?
The Wildcats are going to make a K-statement this weekend.
This is my co-host, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I like it. I like the boldness of it.
This is going to be a good game, though. High scoring, a bunch of points. I like Kansas State's quarterback, Skylar Thompson. He's really good. He runs the ball a lot. Spencer Rattler is also really good. But I think Kansas State wins this by either a touchdown or a field goal. It's going to be close. I think Kansas State finds a way to get it done.
I'm going to hit you with a quote from Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. Your pick I'm sorry. I got my soul jumped out my
messed
body
it
for
up.
a second. I'm going to hit you with this statement from Bane from Dark Knight Rises. Your pick is admirable, but mistaken. Oklahoma wins this. Spencer Rattler blows them out. K-State cannot keep up.
I could be wrong.
They score a lot of
I've
points.
been wrong before.
They may even break 30, but Oklahoma is just going to score on almost every drive here. I promise. Especially when this K-State defense can barely hold an Arkansas State team. I know. I give credit to my man Jonathan Adams. A lot of poise in that game. Oklahoma runs all over him.
Yeah, but I'm known for making half-assed predictions because if you notice from the show last week, I said that South Florida was going to challenge Notre Dame, and they got 52 points hung on that ass. So, also Notre Dame's game against Wake Forest this week got postponed because of COVID problems.
Yeah, that's a shame. Hate to see it. But at the same time, we knew it was going to happen.
That's probably not going to be my only controversial pick of this episode.
Well, I would love to see what else you've got, my guy.
All right, let me.
Louisville coming off of a bit of a skitty game, but this looks to be a very promising matchup. We got 24 versus 21. Louisville going to visit the Panthers of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off a big win as well. Louisville, of course, coming off that really difficult loss. Does Louisville rebound, or does Pitt take the cake here? Very close game here.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty evenly matched.
Also, Will says those are baths. When you sit, that is a bath.
No, because I'm not sitting in standing water. I have a shower running on me. It's still a shower. Anyway, I saw the screen. Are they exactly 50-50? Louisville and Pitt?
Yes, they are.
Exactly.
50-50 down the middle.
So
the spread is 3. They're giving 3 points to Vegas is giving 3 points to Pitt. Yeah. What do you think, man?
Pitt's at home. They're in Pitt, right? They're playing in Pitt.
Yep.
They're at home. Louisville just came off this tough loss to Miami. I think they lose again. I think Pitt gets them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean this Pitt team is good. I like their quarterback. I can't remember that. I think
I think it's Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett. Yep.
Something like that. They upset UCF last year. They ran the Philly special, but they called it the Pitt special to upset UCF last year. I like their new. They went to a more throwback uniform. They used to wear like a dark navy blue and gold, but now they wear more of like a royal blue and yellow.
Yeah.
Don't look up their uniforms because there's going to be a spoiler about something. Later.
Oh, I can't wait to find out. Maybe. Who knows? It's possible.
So don't look those up just yet, but when you do, we can show them. They look very similar to the Los Angeles Rams, same kind of color scheme, but they have a very nice font. Their font it's a different font, but it's unique. It's like the only one like it in college football. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Panthers.
Very nice. I like to pick Spencer. I take Louisville here. I think that they're going to see a lot of what happened on film last week. I think their defense makes a lot of adjustments. Malik Cunningham, so much talent, so much speed. I think if they can sort of have a good week of practice here and have improvements along the way.
They're playing tomorrow, Daryl.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
whatever time we are.
Just grieving you.
I think if they're in a better spot, I take Louisville here. I'm going to call this my couch game. This just is going to be.
I have mine. Yeah, this is also going to be mine. I had my recliner game as something else, but I think this is going to be mine.
What did I say? Couch game, recliner game? Yeah.
Recliner game.
So
cool. Same thing.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, turn this game on, pop some popcorn, get a soda pop or something.
Who you got next, my guy? What's next on our schedule? Hit me with one.
Let's see. We've got number 5, Florida, going to Ole Miss.
He's ripping out the Band-Aid, huh? Mm-hmm. Hopping right into it.
So first game of the SEC schedule. Like you said, we talked about earlier, we've got Lane Kiffin coaching in his first head coach game at Ole Miss against Florida. We've established Florida did good last year after Felipe Franks went down. Kyle Trask came in and took over the offense. He hadn't played in a very long time. This game's going to be in Oxford. This game's going to be very good. I think that the Gators are not going to be ready for Ole Miss's offense.
Oh, Interesting.
Florida's defense is really good, but
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss is going to come out to get them. I think Ole Miss is going to bite them. I think Ole Miss upsets Florida in this game.
My man.
Because I like John Rice Plumlee. I like Ole Miss's offense. They might have, I don't know, it's either going to be John Rice Plumlee or Matt Corral. I hope it's John Rice Plumlee because he can throw and he can run. He's deadly quick. This game, I'm picking Ole Miss in this game. That's just what it is. I've been down on Ole Miss in the past.
You were like, I'm making this point, and I'm making this point, and I'm picking Ole Miss. Like you had so much meaning behind everything you were saying. I believed it, man.
Yeah. I've been down on Ole Miss in the past. Now, Florida is very good. They have a very good defense. Like last year, that Auburn versus Florida game in the swamp, we thought that game was going to go the opposite. We thought Auburn was going to roll them, but they didn't. Florida ended up winning that game. It was a very close defensive struggle because Florida's defense was for real. Florida's defense is probably still for real, and Kyle Trask is still a good quarterback. But I think they lost LaMichael Pirine, their best running back. I think they lost some pieces to the draft. Florida's still going to be very good. They're still ranked number 5, but I think Ole Miss is going to get this upset. It's going to be close. This game's going to be very close, but I think it's a touchdown or less. It's a touchdown or a field goal.
You know what? I will agree with you on one thing. I will say this. I will say that Florida is going to get out the gate. Or excuse me, Ole Miss is going to get out the gate. Ole Miss is going to put up a lot of points here. I think Florida's defense is going to make a lot of adjustments in this game, and I think that unless Ole Miss can continue to score into the third and fourth quarters, they're going to get outgassed here. I think Florida's the better team. I think they have more talent. I think they have the better coaching staff. And I like I said, John Rice Plumlee, I think he's fantastic. I agree with you. He's a fantastic athlete. I don't see them going the distance. I'm taking Florida here into a game that's going to be close at the half, but not close at the end of the third. That is my pick, and that's all I've got to say about
Both
that.
of these teams are going to score points.
Yes.
But I think it's going to come down to Ole Miss's defense. It's going to come down to Ole Miss's defense making one or two key stops or getting a turnover for Ole Miss to pull this out. Like, I'm picking Ole Miss to win this game, but it's like I'm like 50-50 on that pick because I'm picking Ole Miss, but
because you got to make a pick, and it's a tough game. It's going to be right down the middle. So
I'll tell you my ultimate reasons for picking Ole Miss later in the show.
All right, well, let's hear it later. As of right now, we got Auburn. They're taking on the Wildcats, taking them on at home. Auburn, War Eagle or nah?
Auburn had a good year last year. Bo Nix is the future at Auburn, and he just got another year of eligibility. Last year was his freshman year. This kid's been living the dream at Auburn. His dad was a quarterback at Auburn. He got to watch, when he was a kid, he got to watch Cam Newton at Auburn win the national championship. He stepped into this role last year. They did very good last year. They upset Alabama last year, but that was the Iron Bowl. There's always magic in that game. There was magic in that game last year. Kentucky, their starting quarterback, Terry Wilson's coming back. I can't remember his name now. Their quarterback last year was a converted wide receiver, but he led the SEC in rushing last year. He led the SEC. He scored a bunch of touchdowns.
Making moves. Yeah, for sure.
Kentucky's been making moves. Their quarterback, Terry Wilson's going to be back. This is, I believe, Auburn's number 8 and Kentucky's number 23.
That's right.
I'm picking Kentucky in this one.
Man, you were making all of the big boy picks tonight. I got to give
I'm taking Kentucky. They're going to have their offense back together. Again, it's going to be a close game. Probably a lot of points in this one. Auburn's defense is for real, but they did lose their whole defensive line to the draft.
Yep, you're right.
I think their defensive line was the best part of their defense last year. I think Kentucky's going to be able to make the plays to get this one done. Also, my wife's family is from Kentucky, so they're all big Blue Nation fans. But objectively, I'm picking Kentucky in this game. I don't think Auburn's going to be ready. I think Kentucky comes out and gets this done.
Well, that's a solid
by
pick.
a touchdown.
That's a solid pick, my man. Not so fast. I think the difference maker here is Bo Nix. Bo Nix is, I think, honestly, what happens to you when you're an Auburn quarterback and you beat Alabama, it changes you. It makes you a different level. That's just the bottom line. So I'm taking Auburn here. Give me the Tigers by 10. Tigers over Wildcats by 10. But I do think Kentucky keeps it close. I think you're looking at like a 27-17, 27-20 affair. It's a low-scoring game.
Can we talk about how every time it matters, Auburn beats Alabama?
Every time it matters to their effect, yeah.
In the past 10 years, every time the Iron Bowl has mattered, Auburn wins the game. If Auburn's ranked and they have a chance to go to the SEC championship, they win the game. If Auburn's bad, Alabama blows them out. But every time it matters, Auburn wins that game. Just an observation I'm making.
You know
they
what?
won in 2010 with the comeback, as they called it.
Ooh,
they sucked in 2011. Game. They sucked in 2012. And then 2013, we got the greatest play in college football history in this kick six.
Woo,
that was when Nick Marshall was at Auburn.
That was a good night. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
I got to say, that was
one of the best nights
play.
of college football ever. Yeah. It will go down. That play is legendary. It will go down as one of the best plays in...
100. I totally agree. Yeah. Bulldogs coming to visit your Tigers. Number 6. How you feeling about this game? What are your expectations? I think I know your pick here is going to be LSU because it's my pick too. But what are you expecting here? Are you expecting Mike Jalek to run all over, or are you expecting the defense from the previous year, even though we're missing some stars, obviously? Are you expecting this national championship defense to do its job and shut this down, or what? What's happening here?
So national championship, we're coming off a national championship. We had the best statistical season in college football history. Joe Burrow, best statistical quarterback in college football history. He won the Heisman. Every award we were nominated for last year, one of our players won it. Offensive line was great last year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was great. Jamar Chase was great. Jamar Chase has opted out of this season to declare for the draft, which is very sad, but it's very sad. I wish he was still playing. He was going to be in LSU. The number 7 jersey is very coveted. He was going to wear the number 7 jersey, but since he's opted out, I think they gave it to Jacoby Stevens. Last name Stevens. So Miles Brennan, he was there when Danny Etling transferred. He sat behind Danny Etling for the year that Danny Etling was there. He sat behind Joe Burrow for 2 years. Now it is Miles Brennan's time. We're coming off this great season, and then we're playing against Mississippi State. You know, Mike Leach running the air raid offense. They got a new Stanford transfer quarterback in KJ Costello, who's very good. Kylan Hill, who led the SEC in rushing last year. So this is going to be a dangerous Mississippi State team. We're playing in Death Valley.
Yes.
But
I don't think there's anything complicated about this game, my guy. I agree with you.
I'm picking the Bulldogs. I'm the biggest LSU fan in the world, but Mississippi State's going to win this game. We lost too many pieces. I'm a believer in Miles Brennan, but this is the first game back. Mississippi State's going to jump out and bite us. I think KJ Costello is going to throw for a bunch of yards, and our defense isn't going to be ready. It's going to be close.
You know, I like the idea of making ballsy picks. I really do. But you've gone off the deep end, Spencer. This is too much. Mississippi State loses this game by at least 10.
I hope you're right. I genuinely hope you're right because I'm going to be cheering for my Tigers. But I think Mississippi State somehow finds a way to get it done.
Again, I'm a big fan of Mike Leach. I think the offense is unique.
I love Mike Leach. He's hilarious.
There is so much film on Mike Leach. LSU will be ready. DC is going to have that LSU defense ready to handle this. You might see a couple of explosive plays. You might see Mississippi State pull some off.
If they throw Derek Stingley's way, that's a mistake because Derek Stingley's the best quarterback in the nation.
Right, of course.
That may be a bold pick. That may have confused some people. I'm wearing an LSU shirt right now. It's well established that I'm an LSU fan.
Will says you're an imposter. Since you're not really an LSU fan.
That's just the way I'm picking this week. I mean, last year when we finally beat Alabama the first time in forever, I picked Alabama to win that game.
That's true.
Because I had no – this is what I'm going off. Daryl, I genuinely hope you're right. I genuinely hope LSU wins this game. But I think Mississippi State finds a way to get it done.
Well, here's one for you, my guy. In one sentence or less, tell me what happens when the Longhorns go to Lubbock to visit the Red Raiders this week. One sentence or less.
Texas Tech hangs around in the first half, but Texas' defense slows them down in the second half.
Kind of agree. I want to make a ballsy pick here and say that Texas Tech is going to win this game.
All of mine have been ballsy, so go ahead.
This ain't the one. This ain't the one, Chief. I'm taking Texas. However, I do think Texas Tech will do a little bit of damage.
Because they're playing in Lubbock, I believe.
They're playing
Lubbock
in
can be a hard place to play sometimes.
They're playing in Lubbock.
Also, we may talk about Texas Tech a little bit more toward the end of the show. But
they're playing in Lubbock, number one. And number two, we, of course, have the pandemic in effect, which means that a lot of players have opted out for both teams. It means that people are out of practice. The practice obviously did not go as well as it did in previous years.
Minimal fans in the stands.
Minimal fans.
I still hope they throw the tortillas in the third quarter.
And honestly, I've been kind of giving you a hard time this entire time, but honestly, man, this is the year to make weird picks because it's just a weird year. Spring training, not being able to practice, having players opt out, having players get injured on top of people opting out, people coming back.
I think this game is good in the first half.
I think it is too. I think Texas Tech makes them panic a little bit. And I think, honestly, the key for Texas Tech to... In fact, I'm taking Texas Tech. Matter of fact, I need to do my bold pick. I'm taking Texas Tech in this game. I need to follow my gut here. Texas Tech wins this by a field goal, a last-second field goal, an ugly last-second field goal. The ball's going to be wobbly as fuck. All right? I'm
same
taking Texas Tech
prediction.
here. Same
prediction, but Texas.
All right, fine.
Last-second field goal, but Texas. I think this game is close. I can see this game going to... Texas Tech keeps it close down to the wire, or they keep it close in the first half, kind of scares them a little bit. They kind of hang around at the beginning of the third quarter, and then Texas runs away with it. Sam Ehlinger makes a few plays to those big receivers he's got, and Texas puts the lights out.
There are so many good games this weekend. I am going to lose my mind. Spencer, let's look at this schedule and let's do this. Let's both pick one more each that we really want to talk about, because we could go on. We could talk about Baylor and Kansas. We could talk about BYU and Troy. We could talk about Army and Cincinnati. We could talk about Arkansas and Georgia, Bama and Mizzou. Pick one out of all these. I'm going to pick A&M and Vanderbilt.
I'm going to pick Georgia and Arkansas.
All right, that'll work then. Let me go ahead and get them pulled up real quick.
We've been on for a little bit.
Yeah, and Daddy's voice is getting a little tired. And it's going to be a little late night, if you know what I'm saying. Where the hell is this game? Georgia and Arkansas. Here we go. Okay. So
we got number 4 Georgia going to Fayetteville to play against the Razorbacks. With new transfer quarterback from Florida, Felipe Franks. I believe he's going to be their starter for Arkansas.
Ooh,
I don't know who Georgia's quarterback's going to be.
Yeah. Is there...
Because guy who transferred from Wake Forest, who was probably going to be their starter, declared for the draft.
Interesting.
So it's either going to be this kid that transferred from USC or the other guy. I don't know who their quarterback is going to. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. They still have George Pickens, who is a great wide receiver. He's probably the best wide receiver at Georgia since AJ Green. He's very good, but Georgia always has good running backs. I don't know about any of their running backs right now because Swift went to the draft. He was the last one I was familiar with.
Yes.
I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Give me Arkansas. They're in Fayetteville. They got Felipe Franks. Give me Arkansas by a field goal.
Spencer, this has to stop. First it was the shower sitting, and now it is literally, I've counted them, 5 absurd picks, like picking the underdog 5 times in a row. My guy, are you trying to win the lottery right now?
Broken clock is
you
twice.
You got a better chance.
A broken clock is right twice a day, Daryl.
Yeah, but we're talking about 5 times. And then no twice. It's 5 times.
5-time WCW champion. Anyway, give me Arkansas. Ugly, close, defensive. Give me Arkansas. Shout out to my classmate Sheldon Lee, who's like a social media film person at Arkansas now.
Well, I feel bad for him because he's going to be writing a graphic that says final score Georgia 48, Arkansas 13. I promise you that will be the score. I'm taking that score. Put money on it.
All right, I'll put money on it. I'm happy being wrong. Being wrong is one of the greatest privileges I know in life.
But 5 times, Spencer. I mean, come on, my guy.
What if I'm right all 5 times and we get upset Saturday part 2?
Who goes on a college football podcast and picks against Georgia and against LSU in the same week? I don't even want to talk about the Bama game. I don't want to do that.
Yo, Alabama's winning that game. Mizzou sucks.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. That's the one
Spencer,
I'm positive about.
Okay.
Alabama's going to blow them out, even though they're playing in Missouri.
What if all 5 of your crazy predictions are wrong, but the Bama actually does lose?
Then I would be super happy about that.
I would pay to see that, my guy.
I could be wrong, but what if I'm right?
You want to talk about Vandy and A&M?
A&M by a lot. They're in College Station. A&M's got these new uniforms we talked about a couple weeks ago. Dope.
You know what? This is going to be a big game for my Aggies, and here's the reason for this. All right, Vanderbilt.
Getting rhythm, getting flow.
Well, you're going to get rhythm, you got to get flow. My problem with A&M with the past couple years, under the Jimbo Fisher era, I like what Jimbo Fisher's done as far as the discipline, as far as the culture, as far as the feeling like we can actually win games again. I really, really do like that about him. What I want to see change is the offense, because the offense is not very adaptable. It is a very, if it works, and if it doesn't, well, we're still going to stick with the same plays type offense. It is a lot of shorter passes. It is trying to establish the running game, and then there's not a whole lot of pressing the ball downfield, at least to anyone besides the tight end. I want to see the ball be pushed downfield. I want to see offenses that can adapt to these late game scenarios where maybe you're down by 2 scores and you need to go score before the half and get to a better spot. We don't really have that because, again, there's so much throwing underneath and there is so much running the ball right down the gut. I appreciate the effort to do that because it's very important to keep the defense honest. But my guy, I want to see the ball go down the field. So
A&M just got a receiver recruit this offseason. I can't think of the kid's name.
Yeah.
That kid,
he's got
SEC Freshman of the Year. I promise you.
He's got all the keys, and he's going to have to because
he's going to be like Mike Evans level good.
He's going to have to be because Jamon Osman, who is Kellerman's
he's declared for the draft. Did he not?
He's declared for the draft. He's out for the season. He's opting out.
I believe also lost Baylor Cupp.
The tight end, the second year. Again, this is a 5-star tight end recruit out of high school. This guy's supposed to be phenomenal. We lost him last year before the season even started. Exact same thing this year. When you start seeing that too much, you really start losing confidence that this kid's going to ever play. So
ACLs are only in your leg to be broken.
Exactly. So it's going to be telling. I like A&M here. I think they do win. But what I want to see happen as a fan here is that A&M comes out, gets up, and stays up. I don't want to see this sort of they keep it close the entire game. I want to see an offense that steps on the throat. So we'll see what happens there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A&M big in this one.
For sure.
A&M real big.
So, I think you have something to share with us.
Yeah, I do. All right. I was going to show you these last week. You have to go look, right? This is another reason I'm picking Ole Miss. You have to go look at the jerseys that Ole Miss is wearing this weekend against Florida.
All right. Let's check it out.
You have to. There was a little sneak preview of them on the screen last week when you were looking up North Texas's uniforms. But go look at these jerseys. We know Ole Miss has been wearing the powder blue helmets. This weekend they're wearing powder blue jerseys.
Speaking of prime time, he once said, quote,
powder blue helmets, powder blue jerseys. Their field's going to have powder blue on the 50-yard line and in the end zones.
Ole Miss.
This weekend, Ole Miss ain't going to be Ole Missing again this weekend.
What are y'all doing?
Don't these look beautiful?
Ooh,
this is one of the most their powder blue is one of the best colors in college football, and these jerseys are beautiful. They're just the right amount of there's not too many frills to them, just the shoulder stripes and the numbers. Nike logo, SEC logo, Ole Miss on the chest, numbers on front and back.
Yeah.
They're not that flashy, they're just the right amount of there. And the SEC patch has a little bit of red around it. Oh.
The new trend for these past couple of years is just the minimalist look, right? It's the
and
matte
it looks
colors.
So good.
Oh, look at that!
Yes, look at their field. It might be on their Twitter.
Yep.
Look at the way they got the field, and look at the. I think they may have put a trailer up for these.
Yes, they did. Yeah, I just pulled it up.
But they've been wearing the powder blue helmets for the past couple of years, and they always look good because they'll wear the powder blue helmets in their red jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Or the powder blue helmets and their navy blue jerseys. But it always kind of looked off. Now they got the powder blue, and I don't know if I think they're going with white pants, if I'm not mistaken. So powder blue, and white. That's going to look really, really good. Yeah, these uniforms are one of my favorites. The SEC, a lot of the SEC teams don't change up their stuff a lot. But Georgia has this year, and Ole Miss has this year.
Do we know?
These look so good.
Do we know what pants they're wearing with this?
I believe they're wearing white pants. You
Okay,
can go.
yeah, that matches. I wouldn't want them to wear anything else. It would just match the white, you know.
If they were gonna wear their gray pants, I would want them to get gray pants with a powder blue stripe on it, because right now their gray pants have navy blue and red stripes. So I think they're wearing all white pants, and they have the text on the side that just says "Ole Miss Rebels." I think that's what they're wearing. This looks really good. I got another one. I've been having two for you every week.
Well, let's hear it, man. I'm ready for the next one. Who is it?
Texas Tech is wearing some throwback uniforms this week. They're their regular throwback jerseys and throwback pants, but they're wearing some black throwback helmets with a throwback logo on it. They look really sharp. Black and red is always a good color combination. They look good. There was another one I was going to talk about, but I'm going to wait until the week until that team actually wears them, and we'll talk about them.
I am currently searching for the...
I'm going to be very upset if the team I'm thinking of wears them this weekend, but I don't think they are.
I am currently searching for these Texas Tech throwback uniforms.
Texas Tech Equipment is on Twitter. That's where I saw it.
Okay,
or maybe
cool.
you can check Instagram.
Are they all white?
No. They're
Not all
black helmet, red jersey, white pants.
Red jersey, white pants.
They just look really clean. Texas Tech wears Under Armour. Under Armour makes cool uniforms.
Texas Tech Equipment. Twitter, you say?
Yeah, I believe they're on Twitter. And, Texas Tech always, they always have a good look. And their throwbacks have always looked good to me.
Okay, here we go. Oh,
Those
yes,
helmets
sir.
are crispy.
Oh, my goodness.
That's another
Look
reason
at
why
that.
Texas Tech's going to hang around in the first half.
You seem to think that uniforms give magical abilities, because I
do.
seem to remember a year. I seem
Look
to
good, play
remember a year whenever an A&M team wearing being led by Kenny Hill and some white and silver trimmed helmets.
The iced out uniforms?
Got them embarrassed against Dak Prescott and the Bulldogs.
And Mississippi State, yeah.
Ooh.
But that was also the Dak Prescott era of Mississippi State,
Well,
and you can't throw 3 interceptions to the same guy and win the game, Derek.
Well, then it seems to me that the uniforms did not give magical abilities, because 3 interceptions is absurd.
Yeah. Look good, play good, though. And they've had these pants and these jerseys, but this helmet, I saw that, Will. That's hilarious. These helmets look really good. The black face mask looks dope.
Will said he's not a Coke machine. You can't put some sense into this man. Talk about Spencer's
I
picks.
agree.
I like the car.
But these
That's
helmets
nice.
look, yeah. But like the logo on the helmet is what attracted me to these helmets.
Ooh, I just realized I never updated the text for the stream. I never updated. It still says Upset Saturday comes early. Oopsie poopsie.
But if I'm right about all my picks,
dude,
I'm probably not.
Dude,
I'm happy being wrong.
you just are picking them all.
But
so
it's
you can
20.
pick-
Look at that car he's laying against. That car
looks
that
so good.
player was. It
You,
looks so
did-
good.
you picked all 5 because you're like, surely one of them will actually be an upset.
It's
right?
2020. We can make picks like that, and it's not really going to matter that much. Hey, playoff committee. It's 2020. Things don't really matter that much right now. Let's expand the playoff this year. So next year,
Yeah.
when we get to a full season,
For funsies. Why not? Let's
do
just
it.
go ahead
Let's
and
just
do
do
it.
it.
Spencer,
They've been talking about on game day. It's 2020. Why not? Just do it. Whatever idea you have, just do it.
rip
You want
off
to
the
install a
Band-Aid.
secret triple option offense? Do it. I don't care. Do it.
what if Alabama came out this year with an army offense and just never threw
I
the ball?
would, dude. You know how much I would love that. Mac Jones isn't that fast though.
No,
They'd have to get that backup that they got.
they'd have to have the 2-headed giant where they have a
A throwing quarterback and a running quarterback.
well, not quarterbacks or running backs. They have like their Alvin Kamara. I mean, back whenever they had Mark Ingram, they'd have like a Mark Ingram and an Alvin Kamara, somebody big and somebody fast.
Yeah.
You know.
You gotta have that because you gotta have a fullback to hand it off up the middle.
Yes.
But like that'd be great if Alabama just installed a triple option like wing formation. That'd be great.
No, because you know what Nick Saban understands that so many college football coaches do not understand is that you have to be prepared for any situation in a game, and that offense only lends itself to certain situations.
Yeah.
You have to be ready for anything, and that's why Alabama can win under so many different circumstances.
We talked about in the past, and other fans of college football may not know this, but the reason why we talk about Army, Navy, and Air Force running triple option offenses is because we forget this sometimes. These men playing these games are in the military. They're in the Army, the Navy, or the Air Force. they have weight requirements. They can't be these big 300-pound linemen like the SEC can.
You can't be no big boy. No, sir.
They have weight and height requirements. So you have to run an offense that's conducive to that. And you can't be, pulling blockers and doing all the other traditional type of pass blocking stuff because your linemen are just going to be smaller and skinnier than their defensive linemen. Like, they're going to be just as strong. And, like, I salute thank them for their service. I salute them.
Yeah.
They're serving their country, but they're also playing football.
Limitation breeds creativity, my guy.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line.
Which is why Vine and TikTok have been successful.
Exactly. When you crunch things down and say, no, you only get this, that's what it is, man.
I have a question, Daryl.
Hit me.
Talked about last week the Big Ten being back in business. Do you know what that means?
What does that mean, my guy?
That means Maryland gets to play football. So is when the rest of the country on week 7, does that mean we're going to get the same week 1 Maryland energy? I want a shirt that says week 1 Maryland.
Can we get like a spring-loaded Maryland week 1 where like they have several week 1s all rolled into one?
Because it's their week 1, so we may get week 1 Maryland. They just got Tua's little brother transferred to be their quarterback. I don't know if he's going to be their starter.
I think we'll get.
It's 2020. Why not? Let him start.
I think we'll get week 1 Maryland.
So I don't know who they're gonna. I don't know what their schedule is, but whoever they're playing, watch out because it's Maryland's week 1. So you might get blown out. Texas learned that the hard way 2 years in a row.
They did, didn't they? I forgot that was 2 years. That's right.
2 years in a row. The one they played in Austin, that game was great.
Yes.
Because they had there was 2 blocked kicks returned for touchdowns in that game. Either way.
There was
a block kicked and then a kickoff return. And then later in the game, there was another blocked kick returned for a touchdown. And that game was nuts. I loved it.
Then the one next year was just bowling shoe ugly. It was like raining and it was like extra humid out there and gross. And then some in Texas just couldn't pull it out.
And Maryland won.
Yep. Well, my guy, I got to be real with you. I think I am extremely parched. I'm out of water here. I think I'm spent, dude. But I'm so ready for tomorrow.
My throat's getting a little scratchy.
Well, my dude, I'm
hyped for tomorrow. This is the most hype I've been all season because we get SEC football tomorrow.
I'm gonna close this out by saying I really enjoy sometimes when we're in the podcast and talking, and I look at you and then I imagine what it would look like if your beard was like on your head, and so it was like your face was upside down and it just goes straight up.
You can flip my picture over.
I like to imagine that. I could, but then I would flip too, and it wouldn't look right. So
I can't. I don't know if I could grow hair this long on my. I can, but I don't want to.
No, and it wouldn't grow the same because you got straight hair on your head, but you got curly hair.
Because
it's a different type of.
Because I've established I can have short hair, short beard, long hair, long beard, short hair, long beard. But me, long hair, short beard, don't work.
No, sir.
Long hair, short beard is what I had at Jack's wedding. And I looked good in the suit. We all looked good, but
that's why it's a suit, man. It makes anything look good.
Yeah.
You know
Long hair, short beard on me don't fly. So it's either going to be nothing up here, and nothing down here. It's going to be a lot down here. I've been growing this since right after Jack's wedding. I've been growing this for almost a year.
I would imagine so. It's very hefty. It's got lots of life to it. Very
fortunately for me, my beard grows in full. It grows in thick. Yeah. And normally I trim down here under my neck, but I haven't done that this time. And I just let it all grow.
It's got some wild volume on it. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Some days it looks good. Some days it don't. Some days you have a bad beard day because you lay on it and it does this. And then you just...
And sometimes you wear a scarf because you can't grow facial hair. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining our show. If you're watching the VOD, thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you enjoy some great football tomorrow. Will, thank you for showing up. Thank you all so much for everything that you guys
I don't know who else is in the chat. I don't know how many other people.
I think it was just Will. It was Will and me and you. It was just 3 of us. That's fine. Just the 3 of us.
That's fine. I still love doing this.
It's a lot of fun.
We could just be me and you sitting here talking for an hour. That's what it was last year. That's what it was last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you believe we've been doing this for this is our second season?
Yeah.
And
it's going to be even better next year.
Yeah,
it's going to be even better next year because there's no pandemic. So.
Yeah. So. All right, man. Guys, I had fun.
Like the video, share the video, subscribe, all those good things.
We should do this again sometime.
All right. Well, I will.
Next Friday, it's a date.
Let's do it next Friday, my dude.
Yes, sir.
From everybody here at Hash Browns and Hash Marks, Spencer, myself, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on the flip side.
Yes, sir.